Hello, genealogist. It's Craig, and this is Just Genealogy. So today I want to talk about a book called Elements of Genealogical Analysis. It's by Robert Charles Anderson, FASG, Fellow of the American Society of Genealogists, something I will never be. And he is the individual that brought us The Great Migration Begins, 3-volume set that deals with 1620 to 1633, and then The Great Migration, 7-volume set that deals with 1634 and 1635. What he's done is he's created a book that describes his methodology for doing that research. And the reason I bring it up now is within the next week or so, we're going to start dealing with element 3 of the genealogical proof standard, which deals with the concept of analysis, correlation, those kind of things. And this is a good place to start with that. Now, the truth be told, I don't agree with everything that's in this book, but then I don't agree with a lot of things that are in books. So that really isn't an issue for me, but there's a lot of good stuff in here that will at least make you think about what you're dealing with when it comes to analysis. So we're going to be using this and then the chapter on evidence analysis and evidence explained and whatever else I come up with as we deal with element 3 of the genealogical proof standard and mastering genealogical proof. So he does give us several chapters that will be of interest in regards to source analysis. And then he deals with individual record analysis, which I've always thought was important because there actually is a difference between a source and a record. And then he talks about a linkage analysis where he deals with the concepts of a linkage bundle, a dossier, which is a collection of more than 2 or more linkage bundles, and then a rationale is a narrative that presents your argument for creating that linkage bundle. Well, that sounds a lot like genealogical proof in just a different set of words, his words. And that's one of the issues that we'll deal with is we'll be comparing his words in elements of genealogical analysis to the words in the first chapter of Evidence Explained, which you know I'm a fan of. It's not that I'm not a fan of this book. It's just I disagree with his concept of what constitutes genealogically defined. And we'll cover that also. And it's a very minor thing. It's just I consider that genealogical defined bundle to be more than what he says it is. And it's an issue of completeness. So my recommendation is that you go ahead and get this book, Elements of Genealogical Analysis, sometime soon. Give it a perusal, give it a read. Don't forget to read chapter 1 of Evidence Explained. And then the next week or so, week to 10 days, we will start dealing with genealogical analysis as it is described in element 3 of the genealogical proof standard. So just a short one today, sort of to get us set up in the right way to move forward. Also a reminder that today and tomorrow, or maybe just tomorrow, I actually don't remember which, Legacy has got 5 or 6 free webinars, and 2 of them are mine. And one of them deals with something I've never done before, a Revolutionary War case study, where I take a Revolutionary War soldier from his death, actually his widow and his death, back to his enlistment and his place of enlistment, which is different than where he actually died. I've never actually done that as a webinar before. I've done it as a client research years ago, but never done it as a webinar. So usually I just talk about how-to, and this isn't really how-to. This is looking at my process, my total process for evaluating a Revolutionary War soldier. So you might want to take a look at that. And I'm sure that it will be available on Legacy at another time also. Just family tree webinars, family tree legacy webinars. I never can keep all this stuff straight. It's just not inside my head until I need it, and I should have thought about looking it up first. But anyway, that's today and tomorrow, or just tomorrow. Can't keep it straight. And there are lots of free webinars out there for you to have a look at. There's 6 that I'm aware of that deal with military records this month. 2 of them by Michael Strauss, 2 of them by me, and 2 by somebody else. Maybe there's only 5. I don't know. I don't remember. But take a look anyway. And if you see something that you enjoy, don't forget to watch it. And I also recommend that whenever you watch anything, that you make a list of what you've watched, because one of the BCG, Board for Certification of Genealogist pieces, is that you provide your educational stuff. And in the Association of Professional Genealogists, you have a requirement to do a limited amount of educational stuff. And this is a way to keep track of that for that. But also what you want to do is you want to make your list. I usually do it chronologically. In other words, as I've seen them, and I just, update the list every once in a while based on the emails that I have for the linkages and that kind of stuff. And so I'm listening or I'm presenting, and they're both in the same spot. Also, every time I write an article, I do the same thing. Because I'm creating a list of activities. And also, what you should do every time that you listen to something is to write a note about what you got out of it, why you watched it, what value did you get, did it change you in some way, did you learn something that you really didn't know before, and what are you going to do about it, that kind of thing. Just a short note, a couple of lines that tells your BCG judge that you actually did something other than just put it on a list. So this has been Craig. This has been Just Genealogy, sort of wandering around today. But hey, that's me. Wander as much as I can. If you've got questions, be sure to let me know. I'm getting a couple of them a day, so that's a good thing. Subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate your telling people that I exist. And I appreciate the comments from people who tell me that they like how I do things. Of course, if you don't like how I do things, you can tell me that too, and I have friends that do that. But you can be my friend too by telling me how I'm screwing up. So this is Craig, this is Just Genealogy, and another day has gone by.